Like the past 5 years, I did not realize how many black men hate black women. And of course, this is a sum, not all, and I'm not even going to say the majority.
So there's a saying within the social justice community that racism is so ingrained in America's culture that when you hate and attack racism, it feels like you hate and attack America.
Racism is so American that if you challenge racism, you look like you're challenging America.
So now, within the context of this stitch, our women feel like we are judging them, we are hating them, we are bashing them. The truth is, we are bashing the behavior. Black men don't hate black women. Black men hate combativeness, entitlement, narcissism, people that avoid accountability, people that think they deserve more than what they are and what they contribute, people that only listen to respond, people that paint them with a broad brush and speak of black men as a monolith, people that support the toxic women instead of calling them out on their behavior. The issue is that so many black women have adopted these characteristics that when we attack those characteristics, black women feel like we are attacking them personally. There are hundreds of thousands of black women that don't subscribe to any of that, and black men love them. And some of them are even brave enough to come on this app and tell other black women about themselves. And then they have to risk being attacked by black women that subscribe to the same characteristics I mentioned earlier. Some black women just love to say black men hate black women because it allows them to avoid accountability for the characteristics that they exhibit. In other words, it's just gaslighting, which is just another characteristic that black men hate. But carry on.
Fatality.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Rome, back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. So I came across this brother on TikTok, man, and I just happened to get a video sent to me by a subscriber, and it just happened to be the same person. And I came across these two videos where he stitched in on this young lady right here who seems to feel a way about black men holding women. The typical, oh, if a man is holding a woman accountable, he must hate women topic. You know, you know how this goes. But I tried, you guys. Y'all know how I am, man, because y'all know I'm a smart ass. I tried to go to her page, bruh, and guess what? It's marked as private. I wonder why.
That was pathetic.
Because you're probably the one that comes off like you have the hate. And I gotta agree with the brother 1000%, because this is something that I've been trying to stress over my channel for a while. It is not the women that men hate. It is the behavior. It is the characteristics that men do not like.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
But there was some text while he was talking that made sense. These kind of characteristics have been ingrained in them for so long that they don't see anything wrong with it. So when men call it out, women are kind of looking like,
Ain't nobody got time for that.
That's why they kind of have that "what you mean" reaction. I'm gonna do what I want reaction. That's why women from other cultures and from other countries, when they see y'all behave like this, they have the same not only do they have the same reaction we do, some of them are actually kind of like in shock, like, damn, I can't believe y'all women are over there doing that. So when y'all over here trying to shame black men, or even guys that are passport bros that aren't black, and if they really hated black women, they wouldn't be going to countries like DR. They wouldn't be going to countries like Colombia, Brazil, who have Afro descent. There's Afro Latinos in those countries. There's more black people in Brazil alone than there are the United States. Brazil is second to Africa. Second to Africa. And the United States is bigger than Brazil. And black men are going down there by the dozens. And Colombia, DR. You know what I mean? Like, so let's stop it. If that was really the case, bro, there's melanated women in these Asian countries too. Look at my travel vlog channel, you guys, Unplugged Traveler. When I was in Thailand, the women that you'll see me on film with, I'm like, majority of them were like closer to my complexion or fairly like, it wasn't like you ain't really see me with like no fair skinned Asian women out there. Although that's the majority, there's some darker ones out there, bro. Y'all need to quit playing, quit slipping. I want to show you guys this next clip though, where he responded to her in regards of men being held accountable, man. Check this out.
At what point do we begin holding men accountable? At what point do we say, hey, men, do better?
At what point do we begin to hold black men accountable? When have black men ever in the history of this country gotten away with anything? You mean holding them accountable by like child support or something? And maybe if they don't pay that child support, they'll go to prison? Or you mean like if a sibling of a black woman takes offense to the way her man is treating her and actually goes and him? Or just beats him up really bad and now the sibling is in prison? Or you mean holding them accountable like socially by like dragging them on social media, smearing their name, calling them deadbeats or something like that? Or you mean like by reinforcing the stigma that white Americans place on black men and just regurgitating that narrative? Because if you're not talking about beating black men's ass, you're not talking about killing them, you're not talking about holding them financially responsible for their children, and you're not talking about incarcerating them when they actually break the law, you're not talking about social damnation. Like, what are you talking about when you say hold black men accountable? Like, what does that look like other than what I've already mentioned? Because the problem isn't that black men aren't being held accountable. The problem is that black men are the only ones being held accountable. The mothers of the men that you just mentioned, they were never held accountable. Women that have babies for men that never married them, they were never held accountable. Women that didn't even know who the father of the children were never held accountable. Ooh. Women that lie and got caught lying, saying that black men sexually assaulted them, were never held accountable. Women that use their children as pawns and keep them away from the father are never held accountable. I expect this rhetoric from ignorant women that don't read, that haven't read, that only go off of social media. But when I see a learned, academically inclined individual speak these narratives, I'm embarrassed. When you can identify the visceral that some black men have for some black women while simultaneously ignoring why, you are also a part of the problem. Because if women with academic prowess can't even identify it, who is supposed to identify it? It's far too obvious. You have to intentionally ignore the factors and the reasons. It's like white people saying, I don't know why people are saying Black Lives Matter. You have to intentionally ignore things that you've heard and seen in order to come to that conclusion. I don't know if you have men in your life that you're close to, but please start talking to them. Please start asking real questions and ask them, are they being held accountable?
Finish her. Fatality.
Well said, sir. Well said. And this is one of the reasons why whenever women have this reaction like, oh, y'all don't get held accountable for nothing, or y'all don't hold each other accountable for anything. Fellas, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, a little secret about women that they're going to hate me for. And most of them are going to disagree with it because it makes them feel bad, not because it's not the truth. Most women are only going to complain about the men that they want. When they tell men to hold other men accountable, they're talking about the Pookie and Ray Rays that they had children by, that they try to reform into the guys that they know that are good for them. Yeah, I mean, they're talking about talking about the guy that has all the sixes and he knows it. Therefore, he exercises his options like a man that got all the sixes. You know what I mean? They're not talking about the guys that essayed or, you know what I mean, or did them dirty like that. Deep down, these women know most men aren't doing that shit. They just use it as a talking point, try to make themselves feel better and try to make themselves feel like they're right, when in reality they're just saying a bunch of shit that's irrelevant because it's a very, very small minority. And women tend to do that. They tend to argue minority. Because as you can see, the woman started off the video by saying, I'm not sure if it was this one or the other one, but she started off by saying, I'm not even gonna say it's the majority of black men. Well, if you don't think it's the majority, then why did you even feel the need to make a video in the first place? See, men, we don't argue minorities over here. See, I'm like, and I think that's why women really get bothered. Because deep down, y'all know men are logical, and we're not gonna waste our time trying to argue a point to you if only a small number of people fall under that particular group of people or whatever you're trying to classify them as. That's not gonna work over here. So with that being said, quit trying to make critiquing and calling out bad behavior equal to bashing, because it's not the same thing. Because if you were to say, hey, men, you need to do X, Y, and Z more, you need to do this more, we don't like this behavior, we don't like that behavior, you're not gonna see a whole bunch of men over here saying, oh, y'all must hate men because all y'all do is critique us. Y'all must hate us because all y'all do because y'all critique us. I'm like, imagine how cringe that would sound if a man said women hate us because all they do is critique us and talk about talk about these behavior and call us out on our behavior. Y'all been doing that for decades. Bruh. It wasn't until men started growing a backbone and started speaking up as well until it became a problem. Now all of a sudden, y'all playing victim now. Imagine that. Y'all been throwing stones and stones and stones and stones out of that glass house for decades and decades and decades, and then when men finally said enough was enough, what was the first thing you did? You put your hands behind your back like you ain't been throwing shit. Fuck out of here. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this, man. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all hitting that bell notification, that way y'all know what I'm uploading. Hit the like button, because else with the algorithm helps me reach a broader audience. Also look out for the travel vlog channel Unplugged Traveler, as well as my latest mixtape, Lost Music Volume 2. And if you want to purchase any other merch, check out the spreadshot.com link. It is in the description. Also, email address is in the description if you guys have any foreign testimonials, success stories of traveling abroad, or anything you just want me to react to. All right, until the next video, you guys, deuces.